I remember back in the day driving cars that had manual steering. It had a steering wheel, had a shaft that just went directly down to some steering linkages at the front wheels, and it was very difficult to actually turn the steering wheel, particularly if the vehicle was moving slowly or stationary. Now, anyone who says that they steer a motorcycle with their body, by pulling their body across or putting pressure on the foot pegs and that type of thing, is effectively trying to steer the motorcycle using the most antiquated form of steering possible, like we did back in the day in the cars. Now, countersteering is the modern day equivalent of power steering in a motor vehicle. It makes it so much easier to steer the motorcycle, particularly at speed, because the faster you go, the more the motorcycle is going to resist any changes in direction. And the only way to steer properly is countersteering. Now, we can read about countersteering, you can get some theory on it, how it works, you know, that if I press on this bar, the bike goes a particular way. But the only real way I know of learning how countersteering works so that you can incorporate it into your riding is to actually experience it. So I made this little video to give you some information about countersteering specifically. So I hope you enjoy this, and also remember, as you're watching this, it's showing you what you need to go and practice if you've never experienced this or you don't fully understand countersteering. So enjoy the video. The modern day equivalent of power steering on a motor car is actually what's called or referred to as countersteering. And countersteering is a little bit counterintuitive in that it's the opposite of what people think. The easiest way to learn it is to actually experience countersteering, not to go and read the theory or the mechanics of it in some book or just someone describe it to you and then you go and do it. The easiest way is to experience it. And the way you do it is this. Ride along, I'm riding along at 85 kilometers an hour, nice bit of road. Take your left hand off the handlebar and press on the right hand bar without doing anything with your body. And you'll notice that when you press it, the bike, even though the steering is turning slightly to the left, it goes in the direction on the side that I press. So if I do it again, the bike reacts and goes to the right. So I press the right bar and the bike goes to the right with hardly any effort. Now, left hand corner coming up, left hand handlebar, I just do the same. I just press it and notice that the bike steers very quickly and very easily to the left. So that's countersteering. It's basically, if I want to go left, I press on the left bar. If I want to go right, I press on the right bar. If I want to go left, press on the left bar, right bar. Now, the second part of it is the part that a lot of people don't talk about, and that is countersteering is initiated with a press, but there's also a release that you've got to engage, because if you just hold pressure on that bar, well, it will continue to add lean angle. And if you're holding pressure, right, particularly if you're combining it with throttle, now you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. So the thing that you need to remember is to go left, you press on the left, and then when it's pointed where you want it to do, you release the pressure. To go right, you press on the right bar, and when it's pointed where you want it to go, you release the pressure on the bar. By releasing the pressure on the bar, the bike will now just hold its line. And if the line is straight, it holds it straight. If it's on a lean, it'll hold it in a lean. So I'll show you as we come up here to these different corners. Alright, so I'm coming up to a left-hand corner, I just press it, up, and then release the pressure. And the bike very easily holds its line on that arc. As I come over the top here, this little road's going to veer slightly right. So, come up, I just a little bit of pressure on the bar, release the bar. Okay, got a left-hand corner coming up here, and it's going to be exactly the same thing. I'm going to press on the left-hand bar, and then I'm just going to release the pressure, and the bike will hold its line. So there's no pressure on those bars whatsoever. Press the right hand bar to straighten it, right hand bar to turn right, release the pressure. And it's the two most important things to understand if you're countersteering. You press it on the side that you want to go. If you want to go right, you press the right bar. If you want to go left, you press the left bar. And then when it's on its line, you release the pressure. Right hand corner coming up, same again. Okay, a little press on the right hand bar. Now there's no pressure on the bike to hold this line. Straighten it up, a little bit of a left, and then release the pressure. And there you have it, countersteering. Super easy to engage in, and that's the equivalent of modern day power steering in a motor car. The other thing that's not often mentioned is what do you actually do with your body when you're steering the motorcycle? So we've talked about countersteering, pressing the bar to make the bike react in a particular direction, and then releasing the pressure on the bar once it's online. But what do you actually do with your body? You can make a couple of mistakes with that, and a lot of people that we see riding on track are doing those mistakes. They're kind of steering the motorcycle but not utilising their body in the appropriate way to assist with the steering. So the next part of this video is about what you actually do with your body and what you shouldn't be doing with it. The other thing we haven't mentioned is what you do with your body. There's two things you don't want to do with the body when it comes to the steering of the motorcycle. Number one, we don't want to lead with our body and then try and pull the bike across. We don't do that. The other thing we don't do is leave the body behind. So notice I'm crossing up. I'm very high on the motorcycle. What we actually want to do is go with the bike when we steer it, which means when I press that bar, I just simply go with it, and the bike will want to hold its line so much better, and my body is moving the center of gravity more to the inside. So there's a series of corners coming up here. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So you just got to remember, countersteering, press and release, but go with it as you do the press. So as we come up here, we just simply press the bar, and I'm going with the motorcycle on the inside. There's no pressure on those bars whatsoever. Steer it upright. Okay, press and release. On the right hand side. Yeah. So worst case, body pull. We don't want that. We don't want to be leaving the body behind. That type of thing. We want to do exactly what we're going to do here, which is go with the motorcycle as we steer it. Alright, so we steer it, and I just go with the bike. Alright, real simple. Steer it, go with the bike. There you go. Go and give that a practice. Like I said in the video, there's only one real way to learn this, and that is to experience it. You know, experience what happens to the motorcycle when you press on the bars and don't interfere with your body. Experiencing how the bike reacts to being on lean and you taking pressure off the bars, and also what you do with your body. So go and have a practice with this, and if you've never incorporated these techniques into your riding before, this is definitely going to be a game changer for you. So enjoy.